Hi everybody, this is Andrew from T is for Tech, and today I just wanted to do a quick video to talk about the dual SIM capability of the OnePlus 7 Pro. And to be honest, this is one of the main reasons I got the device. My situation is that I used to carry a work phone for my day job, which was an iPhone XS Max, and then I also had a Galaxy Note 9 that was my personal phone. So my personal phone was a T-Mobile based number, so I have a family plan with my family. We have 4 lines, and so I really want to keep that line because it was like a 4-for-1 deal, and I have a pretty good plan. And I have to carry a phone for work, at least during work hours, to answer phones and conference calls and all of that sort of thing. And I was just getting really tired of carrying around 2 phones and dealing with charging 2 phones and all of that stuff. So what I did is I got the OnePlus 7 Pro. My iPhone, I had the opportunity to get a new phone for work, so instead of getting another phone, iPhone or just a single SIM phone, I ended up getting the OnePlus 7 Pro, which has dual SIM capability. So basically, as you can see, right, so I have one device, and I can use both SIMs in the device to take calls and do everything I need to do for both work and for home. So if you look up the top right-hand corner of the device, you'll see there's 2 cell signals, right? So one is showing LTE, and the other one is just to the right there. So SIM 1, SIM 2. I'm not going to show how you actually insert the SIMs, but it's fairly straightforward. If you pop the SIM slot out on the bottom of the device, you can access both of those. So what I wanted to do is just kind of go into the settings and go into Wi-Fi and internet, and then SIM and network. And what you'll see here is that basically once you insert both SIMs, you'll have some different settings for them. So you'll see here that it shows SIM 1 is a T-Mobile SIM, so that's my personal my personal number, my personal SIM card, and then the second SIM is AT&T, which is my work number or my work line. So if you go into each of the SIMs, there's a bunch of different settings, right? So you can set a name for it. You can turn the SIM on and off, or active, or or not. You can turn on voice over LTE if that's available. Wi-Fi calling if that's available. The calling preference, you can set that to Wi-Fi preferred, or only cellular or whatever. Turn on roaming, all the typical things that you would find on a device for your SIM card, right? So just imagine that times 2. So then if I go back and I go into the AT&T SIM, now you have a little less settings in this case, right? But you still have the capability of having the SIM in the device and turned on. You can turn mobile data, preferred network type, right, for the cellular data. You can enable dual 4G networks for both SIMs when they're available. There's a data saver, all that sort of thing. You can actually pick which default SIM you use for mobile data. So if you have one plan that has higher bandwidth allowances or whatnot, you can set that as the preferred data SIM, so you're not using the other one, right, or whatever. And basically also the default SIM for messaging. And here for the voice call, I say ask every time. So basically when I go into the phone portion of the Android app, I can pick between which which SIM I want to use to make the voice call. And then smart callback, basically if someone calls you and leaves you a message or calls you on one of your lines, use that line to call back that number, right? So that's basically the settings that you have here. But what does that mean kind of in practice if you go back to the actual phone app itself? So you'll see here at the bottom, you have basically 2 call buttons, right? So this is SIM 2, this is SIM 1. So if I dial a number here, it's going to use SIM 1 when I make the call. If I dial a number here now, it's going to use SIM 2 when I make the call. So that's pretty cool. And then your call history, if you have some calls or whatnot, will show up, and you can kind of see which number they were called on. You can set up different ringtones per SIM. So I set up a ringtone for my work number that's different than a ringtone for my personal number. So even when I hear it, I know who's calling or whatnot. So that's cool. And then if you go into messages, now I'm using Google Messages or Android Messages here, but you can use the OnePlus app as well, or their Messages app. And the same thing kind of happens if you do. Actually, I don't want to do that. I don't want to show all the numbers of my friends and stuff. But what I can do is I'll send myself a message using a Google Voice number, and it should pop up here. Okay, so basically I got a test message, right? And it shows that I got, I received that on SIM 1, right? So it shows there SIM 1. I got the message. I can reply, send it with that, with SIM 1. I could also reply with SIM 2 if I wanted to. Or if I got another message, so if I got another one, so I'll say this is test 2. Right, so I'll get another message, right? And it's grouping them together because it's both coming from my my message or my number, right? So if you had different people texting you on the different SIMs, obviously it would show up as different messages. But you can see here, test, I replied, test 2, and it says now via AT&T. So you can see at the bottom it switched to SIM 2 because I had sent the message to the different SIM number, right? Even though it's from the same other number. So I can say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And send that back, and then it's going to send it via an AT&T. So the first message was received by T-Mobile and sent by T-Mobile. Second message was received by AT&T and sent by AT&T. Yeah, so that's it. Hopefully this was helpful, and if you are looking at this device or considering the OnePlus 7 Pro and you have the need for work and personal setup on the same phone, I can definitely tell you that after using this for about a week or so, it works pretty well. If you have any questions or want to make any comments, go ahead and do that below. If you like what I'm doing on the channel, you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. I'm really trying to get my subscriber count up and my views up. I had a couple people make comments before saying I should have a lot more subs than I do, and I wish I did. So if you can help me out with that, that would be greatly appreciated. This is Andrew from T is for Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.